you can look outside, and for those of you who are lucky and do see it on the right side, you see it's already dark outside, and we do approach a new interconnected digital world. Estimated time of arrival, we're not sure about that today. We'll figure that out tomorrow. But we have a clue about this, what will change and how this will change. The weather outside is, as you can perfectly see, very interesting, dynamic. You see a lot of clouds. You see also lights outside, and light is a very impressive, I would say, sign for technology, because the light transfers data. And data is very important for applications and for services. Services in a new world, a new digital world, interconnection services. A very, very interesting question. How these services would look like, and what kind of target groups and what kind of organizations will have to serve. Let's think about the key findings today. What is the main key finding? A dragon can be very beautiful. Of course, we saw this in a very impressive way. But another key finding today is that there are a lot of things which are changing and what will change even more in the future. The panel is a great panel, by the way. Congratulations. They gave us a great, I would say, summary of the key statements today, a lot of statements. I will not spend too much time on this. Nevertheless, let's have a quick through. Andreas explained why new technologies, new technologies create new business models, or vice versa. And of course, this mix creates a completely new society. The society is already there. We can call it digital society. We can call it media society. It's different as it was 10, 20, 50, or even more years ago. The next speaker gave us a very important insight in an analytic one, and I'm very thankful for this great approach you took, that the interconnection arrived in different businesses as we had this a couple of years ago. With different businesses, I mean, interconnection a couple of years ago was a topic very close to the network operators, to those guys who dig in the streets and put cables in, those guys who do operate content networks, who do deliver internet to our homes and offices. But this changed, or is in a very strong process of a change, where enterprises, businesses, corporates, organizations, they start to think about direct interconnection and services related to interconnection. Why? Yes, because they do have new services, new business models, new applications, and based on those four different categories or branches, industries, James talked about, like media, like finance, like IT, software, we identified how many different challenges they have to face because of the changing digital world. Those processes, applications, and new business models, they have to be served on the infrastructure level as well. So in a nutshell, in the future, we had one content guy as a network operator and one internet access service operator. They had to exchange data. In the future, this picture, and it's already the case today, in the future it will be even more the case. The picture will be much more colorful, and new type of organizations who will need reliable interconnection services will be very present on the stage. Yes, beautiful presentation and very impressive one. How digital media, and especially beautiful content, or not beautiful content, attractive or boring content, changes the infrastructure in general. And we saw just a couple of ideas what can be possible tomorrow, mixing reality with completely new virtual stuff, having flying dragons around our heads, sitting in an artificial plane. That's interesting, and it will get more and more influence on our daily life. This will create tons of data. This will require reliable infrastructure even more, as this is the case today. Thank you, Pascal, by the way, for this really different view on the content nowadays and in the future. Cloud, yes, everybody is talking about cloud, and absolutely correct, because it's a very important dynamic on the market related to a lot of different cloud services, cloud service providers, and we saw an example how the world can be designed today and how can it be designed in the future. And thank you for mentioning DE-CIX as one of the platforms supporting this process already. Now, we talk about processes, we talk about new trends, we talk about tons of different ideas, business models, which are all related to one and the same thing. It's actually creating a better internet. A better internet is based on fundamentals. And content is one of those. Of course, reliable business models are others, applications, of course, but ladies and gentlemen and dear friends, the most important thing on the layer down is the infrastructure. There will be not good internet, not reliable internet without reliable infrastructure. And interconnection infrastructure, we see different elements into these robust, reliable data centers. We do have fiber operators. We do have, of course, internet exchanges, which are part of a robust infrastructure. And DE-CIX is just one of the internet exchanges around the globe, just to mention a few others, because I don't want to hold a sales presentation here. There is DE-CIX in Dubai, there is DE-CIX in New York as well, there is DE-CIX in Madrid, and I heard there is DE-CIX in Marseille as well. No, of course, AMSIX and Links and so far and so on. What I'm trying to say is that all those pieces are extremely important for the reliability of our digital technology today, delivering services to our homes and offices. That's all about. This journey started at least with us, but also as DE-CIX, but also with other exchanges in Europe. I gave examples of AMSIX or Links 20 plus years ago. And the journey is just at the beginning. How does it start? It started with one city, as this was the case with DE-CIX. Today, in Frankfurt, we do have one of the largest ecosystems in the world, and in terms of traffic, it's in fact the largest one. On the right side, you see this very bright spot down in Frankfurt. This is DE-CIX Frankfurt. A lot of light is there in almost 6 terabit per second. We have created on this journey also other exchanges around the globe, because we realized that we want to I would say, export the experience and the knowledge and the know-how we have created. So we didn't think years ago about new services or new type of interconnection products. We thought about how to create further robust internet exchanges for peering, which was the beginning of interconnection, at least on our side. We arrived in New York, we arrived in Madrid, creating the fastest growing exchange today on the planet. We even went to other continents like Dubai, like the Middle East and Africa, as Harold mentioned earlier today. We're happy to be present in India already. Peering was at the beginning, but it's more about peering required today as an interconnection service. Why? Because we heard that there are new business model, a completely new demand on the market for different applications, quality and security levels. So to put this in a nutshell, you need the right travel kit. Without the right travel kit, you don't have the shoes, or you don't have your shorts, so you don't go outside on the beach. So therefore, in our business, it's the same. You have to have the chance to get the right travel kit. And the right travel kit, from our point of view, is the right ecosystem. I know the word ecosystem has been mentioned and repeated several times today for a very good reason. Because without an ecosystem, there is not a vibrant and healthy environment to grow interconnection services as business. This is the only one and the most efficient way to have a robust and efficient digital underlying infrastructure. The ecosystem around, at least I can speak from DE-CIX perspective point of view, is the main asset the digital industry on the infrastructure level has. And we thought about this asset and asked ourselves, okay, we started 20 plus years ago with peering, created a big ecosystem. Frankfurt, 800, almost 800 operators are connected today. New York, they are 160, and so far and so on, but the variety is huge. So it's a kind of a natural environment, not for peering only, but it's a natural environment for interconnection. Therefore, we at DE-CIX decided to use the benefits of this kind of ecosystem and think further. But before I tell you what is the result of our idea, let me just go through some very important and crucial factors for a robust and healthy ecosystem. This is, of course, the neutrality. The neutrality means ideally a data center, a carrier-neutral ecosystem, actually a very well distributed platform where everybody who needs interconnection services can access it, and as we call it sometimes, it's just a cross-connect away from the need of the organization. The right market, right time, this is obvious, it's valid for all businesses. You cannot create an ecosystem if the market is really not prepared for. Sometimes some ecosystems are in the position to change some markets to a better level, but at least the right time and the right framework should be at least at an initial level on site present. Now, having all these things in mind, a huge demand for interconnection on a different level because of new business models, because of tons of traffic, and because of completely new way of interconnecting businesses and individuals because of their personal and their business needs. If we keep in mind the beauty of already existing ecosystems, and if we keep in mind the attractiveness of those ecosystems with the already installed infrastructure in place, we thought that it's time to introduce a new generation of interconnection platform, not focused on peering only, but focused on the new interconnection service world. This is the new DE-CIX interconnection service world. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends of the internet and interconnection, this service world is an example of using the benefits of 20+ year experience in creating ecosystem and to be helpful to the industry for at least further 20 years. If you look at this graph, and it's probably a very basic one, that's a very high level description of what we are introducing to the market, you see that the infrastructure operator has already installed at internet exchange like DE-CIX, in DE-CIX Frankfurt, or in other different markets where we are active in, can be used in different multiple ways. Peering is just one of these ways. So from the operator and from the business model perspective, this model creates a new level of efficiency and effectiveness of using already existing infrastructure. The old peering port becomes interconnection access, or access to an interconnection service world. This world consists of different services which are already part of the DE-CIX portfolio. The beauty of it is we'll add more and more, and the second beauty of it is that the efficiency of this infrastructure usage can be dramatically increased. So operators, they can virtually use the existing access to the DE-CIX platform for different services depending on their demands and their needs. Just a few examples behind me. You can use your DE-CIX access for direct cloud connectivity, for different private or closed interconnection groups, or even for services we are not aware of. But this is the general logic, and we invite you with this logic to a nice journey. The journey is not at the end, of course. There are a lot of more services to come. There are more networks to come, different type of networks to come, and there is more flexibility. As you can see, you can use the same access for different types of services, and of course new opportunities, even for business on this. I would call it's one port to connect to almost everything. This is not my brain. I choose the significantly larger picture for a good reason. It's important to understand that the ecosystem, even as it is today, will change. And we call this ecosystem a new ecosystem consisting of people, because people drive business and economy. Of course, not to forget the technology around this and the business as a result of this nice symbiotic approach. But ecosystem is actually, just to talking about neutral ecosystem is getting kind of very used. So therefore we thought, what will be the future tomorrow? It will be the neural ecosystem. This means a self-learning, self-developing ecosystem because of the gravity of the market. The system is there and it learns more and more by people, by technology, and by business. Now I want to ask you at the end of my presentation just to think about one question. Everybody here should ask himself, and on behalf of the businesses and organizations you do represent here, do you care about a better digital world tomorrow? And if your answer is yes, then you spent the day on the right place today. Thank you so much.